I have a lot of problems with Romulus. I genuinely think it's popcorn, zero-sum movie with sole purpose of earning money, exploiting xenomorphs with juicy faces, and abusing old patterns. But despite these feelings of mine, I must admit, in terms of art direction and cinematography, Alien Romulus is masterpiece. Especially given that its budget was the smallest in this trio. I found several topics which I want to discuss about Romulus art and cinematography. And you can relax, bro, today there will be no negativity, only praising. We'll have an opportunity to get into negativity later, when we will talk about the characters and the story of Romulus. And we starting with color. This movie has so strong and distinct color code that you are just not able to forget this visual vibe. These yellows and reds colors just imprints in your memory. I can't remember movies where such strong colors were used so much and yet were so pleasant for the eyes. You know, often colors like this feels like eye-damaging, awful heavy neon that you want to turn off, but in Romulus I feel I can sit in those reds for hours in absolute comfort. Maintaining overall color integrity, Romulus also does good job creating color rhythm, warm cold variety, and pretty clean color separation between different scenes. Intro is done in industrial yellow lights, then more calm station segment with colder lights, then intense face hugger segments in heavy reds, cold dark stealth segment, flamey orange when things go bad in Navarro, clean bright white for the lab, mostly blacks for xenomorphs hive and elevator scene, oranges and acid greens for this final battle, and cold greens for off-screen ending. This variety is great because it stimulates our brain and makes every movie fragment more unique and distinct. Also, movie masterfully operates with this pretty restricted color palette through little accents. It never feels too monochromatic or boring, because in fact, in every shot we have vast yet subtle color variety and pretty complex composition made of these colors and light sources. Also, it feels that movie treats blue and green colors extremely accurate, keeping intense blue light only for those electricity things and bright greens only for aliens and acid. Because of it, I can feel some uniqueness of those colors and bonds them with specific situation attached only to those colors. So let me give S for Romulus color usage. Next topic is light. Of course, talking about colors, you should also talk about light, because most of the colors in this movie are produced by light sources, and light in Romulus feels extremely natural. As I learned from behind the scene video, it is because they've built actual sets and they've used a lot of real practical light sources. As you know, CGI light often looks flat and boring. Before starting to explain next topic, I want to visually explain you what volumetric is. In easy words, volumetric is fog in the air. Right now we have zero fog and now boom. This is how light start to look if we add volumetric. No volumetric, no fog in the air. Volumetric and fog in the air. No volumetric and volumetric. No fog and yes, fog. Also, a lot of scene has pretty dense volumetric. Air feels foggy and heavy. Image doesn't look clean and sharp. I can assume they've used a lot of fog machines, and thanks to that, light sources can produce this very nice light distribution, creating nice dense atmosphere, and allowing colorful light to make air more colorful. And of course, character lighting is very beautiful and complex in Romulus. In almost every scene you can see 2 to 3 light sources on character faces, their silhouettes always very clean and underlined with lights, we have nice cold and warm contrasts, and character skin often little bit sweaty, that's why we have these very nice colorful reflexes on their skin. As I'm not lighting artist or lighting engineer, it's pretty difficult for me to even understand what am I talking about when I'm talking about light, really. But I don't know, let's give it S, I assume, for light, I don't know. Our next topic is cinematography. You know, it's pretty hard to just summarize and extract some rules, but movie just has a lot of ingenuity and beautiful creative decisions in terms of cinematography. Sometimes it's about playing with dynamic lighting, sometimes camera movements, sometimes overall staging, sometimes it's about playing with depth of field change, a lot of cool playing with editing pace and poses and rhythms supported by music, or sometimes it's very inventable ways to show us a monster or show us chase. Long story short, a lot of time during the movie you just watch at the screen and you're excited with these creative solutions. So yeah, I wanna give A for cinematography, would give S, but movie has some pretty cheap xenomorph shots and a lot of kinda boring shots with just character in it. Next topic is design. This movie actually has very cool and fresh design language. In the beginning we see this sci-fi industrial design and it feels very fresh compared to more modern and generic usual sci-fi, these more clunky metal squarish shapes. Also there are a lot of retro design elements from 70s like old Aliens and Star Wars, but beautifully enhanced and reimagined and combined with modern sci-fi. For example, I can't get aesthetic pleasure watching old Alien movies, it is too old and shitty for me, but I'm extremely glad that concept artists extracted this visual language and gave the new birth to it. And movie gets confident strong A for design. So now let's talk about more controversial or just specific parts of Romulus Artdirection. And first one is Xenop. This movie has some very visible Xenop elements. You know, I have nothing against it, it's aesthetic, it's entertaining, I would like to put my D, but it kinda destroys believability and suspense for a moment. Because in this moment you can't help but you feel like it's done for TikTok or media hype reactions, it doesn't feel like part of the movie. So for Xenop fanservice, this movie obviously gets S, because it's turning me. Next point is trailer-like cinematography. Even though I previously said the cinematography is great in this movie, in a lot of moments you feel like it's absolutely shamelessly done for trailers and teasers. Like this one,
Bitch.
this one,
Run.
this one. And overall, sometimes shots feels very trailer-ish. Maybe it's purposeful decision, because you know, overall this movie is a zoomer popcorn entertainment and has to show this relatable trailer teaser cinematic language to evoke some feelings in these zoomer little kids' brains.
Run.
Or maybe it is just a moment when this nice inventable cinematography crosses invisible line and becomes trailerish and popcornish. Anyway, moments like this kinda destroy movie believability and you feel like idiot watching Marvel.
Run.
And for those teaser-like moments, I wanna give B to movie cinematography. Next topic, of course, poor xenomorphs. You know, I can't really blame movie for having poor xenomorph animations, because I understand they probably didn't have enough money for good CGI, and even more, they were probably forced to use these practical animatronic xenomorphs and make this reverence to original Alien. But anyway, Romulus feels pretty cheap when it shows us xenomorphs. Movie can't really show them full body, movie can't show them running in full amplitude, movie can't show them in full lighting, and in action scenes they are often static and showed for half seconds in this abrupt editing. Again, I think it's not really fair to blame authors for lack of money, they've done great with the resources they've had, but of course I miss some beautiful CGI xenomorphs shots like these, with complex broad animations, with full lighting, etc. However, we have much better situation with Offspring. Very nice practical model, slow horror, intimate cinematography in half darkness, and I genuinely love it. But you still can understand they hiding his movements, hiding him in shadows, and don't want to make fast and visible animations, hiding it with quick cuts. So with all respect to creators, I as viewer wanna give C for monsters. And final little moment, I wanna mention music. I just love this unmotivated decision to add some beautiful cathedral type of music in some movie segments. It immediately adds a lot of beauty and weight to those moments, and even creates some sense of spirituality, depth and meaning, which this movie obviously doesn't have. So let's summarize. In my humble peasant opinion, Alien Romulus creators were obligated to create this absolutely commercial, entertaining, no-risk product in terms of scenario and genre. And they actually greatly succeeded in it. And I guess it means that this type of meaningless horror action entertainment story is our new formula for Aliens franchise. Rest in peace, David. I love you. I hope you became God or whatever Ozymandias you wanted to become. But nevertheless, creators done extremely professional job in terms of art. And I can assure you, they had opportunity to make it way more simple. They could not use this difficult practical light and color setups and just make something green screen, mediocre, whatever sci-fi looking. They could not make these cool cinematographic decisions. They could not resurrect this beautiful alien industrial sci-fi design language so much. But creators did, and I feel actually a lot of love and soul in this movie, art direction and cinematography. Yes, love and soul. Things which I cannot feel in characters and story and in any poetic value of this movie, even 0.1%. Love and soul greatly represented in Prometheus Covenant story and characters. Nobody in this world loves Prometheus and Covenant, but I do. And I will compare these three, and I will destroy your beautiful yet empty, soulless Xenop Zuma Romulus bitch. Yo, Ridley man. I know those corporate motherfuckers strangled your beautiful, artistic, poetic statement. But I'm on your side, man, and they will understand they were wrong about movie making. And will they despair?
Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair.
Okay, bye bye. And bro, right now believe me, because I've worked as artist for 5 years, I know how this stuff works. This is my sphere of expertise. So every artist have this board with reference. There are some ready solutions, works by other artists, maybe there was something from nature, of course. But also, I can swear to God, artists who've made this had like 50 images of vaginas. And maybe not only woman vagina, bro. I'm sure there's some animals involved. Artists and animators who've made this had like 30 dicks. Just 30 dicks on whole screen. Like really carefully inspecting those dicks to make this. And I'm afraid artists who've made this had like videos of women giving birth or maybe some hardcore porn. This is how it works, bro. I swear to God, this is how it works. That's why it makes me so happy. Alright, have a nice day, bro.